Welcome to another monthly portfolio update. If you are stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. In this video, I will share with you how much I invested in my taxable account in November, how many shares I bought, and the value of my portfolio at the end of November. But as always, before I continue, a quick disclaimer. The information that I'm sharing is not financial advice. Before you invest in anything, please do your own research and make sure that you only invest in things that you understand. With that being said, I will dive right into my portfolio update. I will start with a quick recap of my October portfolio to show you the value of the portfolio and how many shares I had before the beginning of November. The total value of my portfolio at the end of October was $76,239.10. $76,170.62 was the market value of my investments, and $68.48 was the cash amount. The total return of my portfolio at the end of October was at $20,315.56. This was plus 36.37%. These are my holdings: 2 Vanguard ETFs and 2 BlackRock ETFs. VCN is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the Canadian market. I had 104 shares of VCN at the end of October. VFV is a Vanguard ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. This is the Canadian version of a VOO. I had 282 shares of VFV at the end of October. XEQT is a BlackRock ETF. This is an all-in-one equity ETF which holds Canadian equities, US equities, developed market equities outside of North America, and emerging market equities. If you want to hold a single equity ETF which is globally diversified, you might consider looking into XEQT. I had 484 shares of XEQT at the end of October. XUU is a BlackRock ETF that tracks the US total stock market, and I had 264 shares of XUU at the end of October. I will now show you how much I invested in November and how many shares I bought. I bought 2 shares of VFV. The cost per share was $143.76. The total cost, $287.51. This is 47% of the amount that I invested in November. I bought 6 shares of XEQT. The cost per share was $33.64. The total cost, $201.83. This is 33% of the amount that I invested in November. I bought 2 shares of XUU. The cost per share was $62.79. The total cost, $125.57. And this is 20% of the amount that I invested in November. In total, I bought 10 shares, all the ETFs combined, and the amount that I invested in November was $614.91. This is $217.96 less than the amount that I invested in October. As you can see here, in October I invested $832.87, and in November, $614.91. The difference is minus $217.96. The total equity of my portfolio at the end of November was $82,009. $81,805.44 was the market value of my investments, and $203.56 was the cash amount. The total return of my portfolio at the end of November was at $25,335.47. This was plus 44.86%. As of November the 30th, I had 104 shares of VCN, 284 shares of VFV, 490 shares of XEQT, and 266 shares of XUU. Alright, let's now take a look at some quick details about each of the positions. I will start with a VCN. The closing market price on November the 30th was $52.63. The quantity of shares that I had, 104. The average price, $41.14. The book value, which is how much I have invested in VCN, was $4,278.91. The market value was $5,473.52. This was 6.67% of my portfolio. The total return for VCN was $1,194.61, or 27.92%. Next, we have VFV. The closing market price on November the 30th was $150.36. The quantity of shares that I had, 284. The average price, $99.48. The book value was $28,254.44. The market value was $42,702.24. This was 52.07% of my portfolio. The total return for VFV was $14,447.80, or 51.13%. Then we have XEQT. The closing market price on November the 30th was $34.47. The quantity of shares that I had, 490. The average price was $25.87. The book value was $12,676.43. The market value was $16,890.30. This was 20.60% of my portfolio. The total return for XEQT was $4,213.87, or 33.24%. Finally, we have XUU. The closing market price on November the 30th was $62.93. The quantity of shares that I had, 266. The average price, $42.33. The book value was $11,260.19. The market value was $16,739.38. This was 20.41% of my portfolio. The total return for XUU was $5,479.19, or 48.66%. November was a great month for the stock market, and you all know what happened in November, right? Donald Trump got elected as the next US president, and the stock market reacted favorably to his election. The US major indexes were hitting all-time highs throughout November. For example, the S&P 500 rose 5.73% in November to log its best month of 2024. This brings its year-to-date return to 26.47%, which is amazing. As for my portfolio, it went from 36.37% at the beginning of the month to 44.86% at the end of the month. This is an increase of 8.49% in a single month, and I only invested $614.91 in November. Of course, it's nice to see such an increase in your portfolio in 1 month. Whether the stock market will continue to rise the rest of 2024 and in 2025 when Trump starts his term remains to be seen. If there's one sure thing, it's nobody knows how the stock market will perform or behave in the short term. Personally, I'll keep doing what I'm doing right now, which is to invest every month consistently, to stay the course, and to focus on the long term. As they say, time in the market beats time in the market. Alright, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time with another update. Peace out.